So hi, thanks so much for talking to me today. I appreciate it. Aaron, I had talked to you before the beginning of the first season.
Yep.
So Aaron, to start with, can you talk a bit about how sort of the trajectory has changed this season? Because obviously they're in a new place. They have, well, I mean, it's still the same planet, but new place, new people. They're kind of the opposite sides in charge right now. Can you just talk a bit about that?
Yeah, so now mother, father, and the kids are in the tropical zone. They've joined an atheistic collective, which is this colony of about 300 people. So there's a lot, they're part of a larger community now. Unfortunately, most of the members of this community despise them because mother has Mithraic children. Mother used to be a necromancer, though she did destroy the Ark, which the atheists all like her for, and is part of the reason she's been welcomed here. But they're in this very different place, and there's a lot more evidence here of the society that once existed on this planet previously, this ancient civilization. And we're starting to get some little clues as to, kind of what made that civilization tick, that in fact there was kind of this religious connotation to a lot of what was going on there. And they're finding these strange scan cards, but they're too damaged to get the information off of them. And last season, we figured out that these cards sometimes are almost like little documentary footage of these ancient events. So they're finding the same card scattered all over the tropical zone, and they're trying to figure out what exactly it means.
Okay. And then Kim and Selina, can you talk a bit about your characters? I know, Kim, we see a little bit more of you than Selina, but maybe if you could both just talk a bit about them. Just give us a kind of a hint. Yeah, go ahead. You go first.
Sure. So I play grandmother, who is an ancient android and rebuilt to life by father's hands. Since he is feeling all types of way about mother having her own serpent baby, he takes the initiative to make his own creation. But there's a twist. I come with this sensory veil, which enabled me as an ancient android and almost shepherd of people to make objective decisions for the betterment of human race. And that veil then comes off and emotions come in and adventure begins.
That's always fun.
Pause. Sorry. So yeah.
Kim.
Just a moment now. I play Decima. She's a quantum gravity engineer, and when we meet her, we don't meet her alone. We meet her with a daughter who is an android made in the image of her deceased daughter's image, who she created. And you usually think that when you create something, there's supposed to be some sort of a connection, which is what she's trying to build. Herself and her daughter are the brand new recruits of Marcus. Yeah, but there's one problem because Marcus doesn't like androids, and this creates a bit of friction with herself and Marcus.
Yes, definitely. So can you both talk about what it was about either the character or the script that drew you to the role? Do again, Selina, then Kim.
The character, again, she was a casting sent by my agents, and I loved this idea of just someone incredibly ancient and old and otherworldly. I'm 6'3" as a person naturally, so my casting can be quite otherworldly, and it was really exciting to have a part like that is old. I remember climbing the mountains in South Africa with my chaperone, bless him, and I was just like, my God, my character is older than these mountains. Like, isn't that an incredible part to play? When would I ever play a part like that? So I was really, really intrigued by that, the power that brings, the powers that she has. And working with an android is really about exploring emotions. How much emotion can you have, can't you have, and how much does that affect the decisions that you can make that are meant to be objective, but can't always be because of your emotional attachment.
Kim?
Yeah, I think that's really interesting, actually, the whole emotional things, because some androids have more emotions than the human beings, and the human beings sometimes feel just absolutely emotionless. Yeah. What was the question?
I have to think about what drew you to the role?
What drew me to the role?
Yeah.
I think, just having the opportunity to be on a show like this, it's a Ridley Scott production. Aaron is at the helm, and just, everybody's watched the first season and you wanted to be part of just the epicness of it. I get to work with like amazing actors. Obviously, that's always something big draw card for any actor. You know, you work with Amanda, with Abu, and with Travis, and you know the kids, and Neve. So it's just, yeah, you can't really say no to it. And also, it's shot in South Africa, you know, and I'm South African, so it was like a double win for me.
Right, that makes sense. So Aaron, I know last time you talked to me about sort of how some of this was inspired by, you know, having children and that, but have you always been a fan of sort of robots and futuristic sci-fi? Can you talk a bit about that and maybe where some of the aesthetic was, where inspirations came from too?
Oh yeah, I've always been a fan of robots, always loved science fiction. Yeah, I grew up, I mean, beyond, you know, obviously Ridley's films, you know, Blade Runner and Alien, I was obsessed with as a child, you know, saw those movies as a very young child. And yeah, I was just obsessed with androids and robots and and also being scared, you know, the idea, you know, androids were always kind of like dolls to me, that kind of, you know, they do have that kind of, there's something kind of creepy about them, but all, you know, they're interesting. And you know, having a face, a human face, but not being a human, and just the way that makes you feel when you look at it. And yeah, it's always been really interesting to me, all kinds of robots, you know, the big metal, you know, giant ones, and the ones that look like humans. I just love the idea of, you know, creating things and, you know, winding them up and seeing what they do, you know, kind of thing. But yeah, it's always been a huge passion for me, oddly enough.
For the actresses, have you had a lot, and again, we haven't seen your characters a whole lot to know, but have you gotten to work a lot with the special effects? I know a lot of it's practical in this show, but including the practical, just kind of the, you know, all the crazy stuff. Have you gotten to work a lot with that, and do you find it difficult?
Yeah, I think also just being like completely 3D scanned, you know, a 360 view of yourself with all of these cameras around, all of the huge cranes, not only that, but like the green screen. You kind of just give yourself over to it, even though when you're doing a scene and you're screaming at nothing, you're kind of in it with everybody else. We're all looking at nothing, you know, just imagining what is written on the paper, you know, and because everybody's part of it and everybody believes in it, you kind of just go with the flow and give yourself over to it. And, you know, it's quite fun actually.
Yeah, but like Kim says, like it wouldn't be anything without the support of your cast. If I have to look at nothing and be like, this is this incredible thing, then everyone has to believe this is this incredible thing. And in post, they'll put the incredible thing in and it's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah. But it's incredible.
Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
All right. What did the two of you find the most difficult connecting to with your characters, aside from, in your case, being a robot or an android? What parts of them did you find the most difficult connecting to?
Me personally, I'm a Pisces, so I cry on four times a week on command at cereal all the time. So having to be someone who takes in information just takes it in objectively was really almost difficult. I have a feeling about everything. Do you know what I mean? So doing that was really challenging, but I think that was the beauty of the character. It challenged me in that way. And what I hope is portrayed is the truth of grandmother in terms of not having those emotions and then suddenly having to experience them all at once.
Yeah.
Okay, Kim?
I think for me it was being a human being because I'm actually an android.
Right. Those out of these wild cheekbones, it makes sense. It's
sorry.
That's okay. All right. Well, thank you, all of you, for talking to me. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of it.
Thank you.
And seeing your character at all, since I haven't seen her yet. I'm excited to see. All right. Thank you so much.